Welcome back to another Shadowverse gameplay video. Today we will be going with the deck that I promised. It's a little weird. It hasn't really been tested much. Kind of has, kind of a couple weird cards. But we will try and do something with it. So this is a mid-forest LOL deck. I kind of wanted to, I'm like looking at the deck, mid-shadow. Didn't really want to play mid-dragon. I don't think that really exists. Mid-haven. Doesn't really exist. You kind of, aggro-y or, control. Mid-blood kind of exists, but I didn't really want to play that. I've been playing a lot of blood. Mid-sword. Honestly, I wanted to play mid-sword, but I've already played mid-sword before. Mid-rune, I don't think that really exists. It's kind of like Earth Wraith, but it's kind of not really mid-rangey. This is me playing a lot of pretty cool cards that don't really see much play. This is the list. We have the fairy circles because I really like having fairies. That's where the fairy whisperer comes in handy as well. Crystallia Lily as a removal spell, as a 2/2. Sylvan Justice, staple. Wood of Brambles, haven't really played with this card much. I've played against it a decent amount. It's always seemed, pretty decent, so that's why I want to include it. Goblin Mage, one of. Ancient Elf, this has to be, looking at on paper, it's such a powerful card. Power creep has kind of, dealt with it a little bit. Magical Fairy Lilac. I only have 2 copies. I've been testing out, played against it. It's good in a lot of matchups, but against aggro, it's not as good. Elven Princess Mage to combo some of these Crystallia Tias. Snowfield Warrior. I mean, it's a Geno. Would you play a Geno if it didn't have the second effect? Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of, Geno-y. And with a lot of 2/2s floating around with the neutral decks, on the play, this card seems, pretty cool. Flower Princess, I'm kind of on edge on this. Like, in terms of stats and everything, it's all pretty much, it's better than Fairy. It's kind of a, another Fairy Whisperer. Maybe I want to take it out of the deck. But the thing was, I really want a lot of fairies to turn on the Crystallia Tia. It was my, game plan. Also, a lot of fairies are gonna pump up my hand size. Gonna be able to restore I'll create a lot of shadows. I have the Deepwood Anomalies because I just have 2 Deepwood anomalies. And how is this deck gonna win the game, really? If the win conditions are like a Bahamut and Zeus, stuff like that. Why play this deck? Because all the other pieces are pretty inconsistent. Playing through this deck, haven't played too many games with the deck. I would say Fairy Generation. There's a lot of Fairy Generation. Initially when I built it, I would say my thought process was I really want a Fairy Generation. Now, looking through the deck list one more time, it kind of feels like, do I really need that much Fairy Generation? I think I really want to turn on Tia. Tia is one of the key cards as a 5 play point, 7/7. Well, it's a 6/6 and a 1/1, but with the rush and everything, it just seems super powerful. That seems, quintessential mid-rangey. But dropping on turn 7 kind of feels, we were gonna say Grandmaster player. It's truly time for me to prove myself with this horrible deck. Wood of Brambles. Yeah, I don't even really know how to play with the card Wood of Brambles. I guess we'll just keep it and we'll see. Skeleton Fighter. Not my favorite card to see in the world. Our hand, I suppose, looks decent. I like to see that though. That's something I certainly like seeing. I think it's fine to play Fairy Whisperer here. Maybe that was the Wood of Brambles turn, but this is gonna be able to let us trade with the Skeleton Fighter if possible. I feel like that's fine, Bone Chimera. Another Wood of Brambles. This is destroy the enemy follower. think it's fine to play the Wood of Brambles here. We'll go ahead and slam down a fairy too. Honestly, I think I'm just happy it's not Nep. Neptus feels pretty difficult to deal with this deck. Like, especially basically Mordecai kind of feels very difficult to deal with. So I'm glad we didn't have Mordecai here. Well, we're not against Mordecai. Will I be able to, withstand this onslaught? Ancient Elf. I really think we need to go ahead and worry about the Ancient Elf right away. So if we go for this line, slam down 2 fairies. It's gonna give them a clash. Go ahead and evolve this. If we go there, kind of interesting. Our opponent has not had a very good start, so maybe that's why we're doing somewhat okay. Prince Catacomb's a little annoying, but it's gonna put us down to 13, which honestly is not too bad. Tia. I think this deck has a little too much fairy generation. I think I actually want to play this. I'm just gonna kill this. Kill this. Can Sylvan Justice, or I could just play a bunch of fairies, which I think I like better. I don't think we're in a great position, but I mean, also could have been correct to not do that. Whoa, that's pretty lucky for us. I wasn't gonna I was thinking it. Hopefully, that it hit the Magical Fairy Lilac. I think we're in. We've drawn pretty well. I think it'd be hard to draw better than we really have. Unfortunately, cards kind of come on in a weird order. I guess we could go for a more aggressive line. More aggressive line would involve a Wood of Brambles. Fairy Beast healing 5. 5 is just a lot of health. Okay, fine, we'll go with the Fairy Beast. I'm just gonna trade out here. And we're still in not too great of a shape, I would say. Not the worst shape, honestly. One is just playing a bunch of weak followers. That's interesting. So if I return these back, I think I don't mind that, having a large ward. This is gonna give us Tia next turn. Serve here is fine, I think. I just don't want my opponent to have, you know, random Deathly Tyrant. Which I definitely would expect, seeing the cards that I've seen be played. Hopefully we'll be able to deal with that, with the double Tia. Next turn we're gonna have a really nice Tia as well. With the being able to play the magical Fairy Lilac. And we just got an instant concede with this memeing forest deck. We're finally level 40 in Forest. Because I never play Forest. But you know. It's, you know, you gotta start somewhere, right? You gotta start somewhere. I never really enjoyed playing any of the Forest decks that have come to meta. You know, the Beauty and the Beast deck, neutral one, kind of looks pretty cool, but I don't have any Beauty and the Beast, don't want to craft any, you know. Starforge Legends is coming out somewhat soon. I mean, but, you know, what, 3 weeks, less than 3 weeks maybe? So, saving up a little packs and a little dust for that. Otherwise, just, you know, hanging out, having a little fun. Making the slow trek, very slow trek to Masters. We couldn't even maybe not reach that for a long time because we're gonna have to do placements after this, which, you know, I ain't really playing too seriously here, but I'm playing a little seriously. Let's see here. I mean, Tia's really good, right? I don't even know if I want any of these cards. Wish I had a 2-drop. Wish I had a 2-drop. Do not have a 2-drop. Unfortunately, we'll see what our opponent's 2-drop is. Lurching Corpse is not what I wanted to see. Fairy Circle. 2 turns too late. Goblin Mage is, you know, kind of a weird card to have in this list, but I just like having the card. Let's go ahead and deal with that. Well, we have a chance. Kind of interesting decision here. Snowfield War is a pretty funny card to have. It's really bad against Zombie Party. But what's like good against Zombie Party? We'll just go for a little safer play. Just throwing a bunch of fairies onto the board. If we want to double spell next turn, I guess we have, you know, Snowfield War into Fairy Circle. If our opponent doesn't kill it, well, that'd be interesting. Grimnir. I guess that's fine. I mean, there's nothing horrible. It could be in much worse shape, I imagine. I guess we could just do this. We'll go ahead and do that. You do want to play Fairy Circle anyways. I'll just deal with this here. Would have brambles there would have been pretty nice. We do want to do this. We do want to end up using the Tia for something. So that's why we want to get the fairy there. We would prefer to play the ancient elf here to get the fairy back into our hand. But the fairy already died, I suppose. Lurching corpse is a pain in the ass. Gonna deal with the lilac here. I wouldn't say we're in the worst position here. Could just slam down a fairy beast. I think I prefer playing this, knowing that we are not going to be able to. This seems like, you know, fine play to me. We aren't going to be able to slam the Tias down, which is one of the reasons I have a lot of fairies in this deck, but I kind of been trading out the fairies a lot. I'm guessing our opponent is the Tyrant version. Bahamut, exactly what I wanted to see. I feel like Tia's fine here. With no evolve. I mean, probably gonna see Ector here. But what was evolving the Eve really gonna do? Eve? The Crystella Eve. Ooh, and there would have been the Soul Squasher as well, turns out. Interesting. Their opponent did not want to create a bunch of zombies, because they really want to draw a bunch of cards. Ah, that's a nice card to have. I think we just pass. It's important to note that Aaron does recover an evolution point. So if we were to, you know, slam another Aaron next turn, we wouldn't be able to. It looks like we're under a lot of pressure here. I do not actually know if we're gonna be able to survive anything here. I was playing one Mahis in the list, that would have done it. Okay, Fairy Whisper is a decent draw, I guess. The real unfortunate part here is I have to trade in the ward, which is going to leave us vulnerable to another Ector. Because all my followers are 1/1s. I think I'll kill this. It's minimal, but if our opponent plays a Death's Breath, the skeleton is going to get pumped as well. We'll dial. Pretty interesting card. You don't really have a good play. I don't know, maybe our opponent is playing the aggro version or maybe just the mid-range version. Either way, maybe I need Grimnir in this deck. Grimnir would, you know, just be a better play than the Bahamut in general. We're just kind of playing Bahamut as, like, you know, a filler card. Oh, there's the Kali. That's actually one of the best cards we could have seen, and that is certainly one of the best cards we could have seen. Our opponent could have, you know, had, you know, just a lurching corpse. That would have been bad. I don't think I mind evolving here. Puts our opponent to 10, which, I mean, I guess I shouldn't have done that because of Soul Squasher. Just such such an annoying card to play around. Kind of in a bad spot here. Pretty sure we're just dead. I certainly do not like my position. That was a little over aggressive. And I think we're just gonna die here. And if we don't, I don't really have a way to recover, which is bad. Oh man, what a game. With this deck. Should not have evolved there. Trying to, have my aggressive mentality. Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh my god. Feels bad. There's no way for me to break through. Turns out it wouldn't have mattered, but I shouldn't have evolved there, expecting that Ector could have come. Oh well, we'll just gain a bunch of life and then concede. That's pretty cool. I mean, we're 1-1 with the deck. Pretty funny. Like, I guess if our opponent didn't have Death's Breath there, that was literally like probably one of the only cards like Catacomb on its own, not that good. Is that Grandmasters? I feel like I think I said at the beginning that was Grandmaster, maybe not though. I've had like some kind of weird, Grandmaster has been kind of weird for me. Whenever I play against Grandmaster, the score always is kind of weird. I'm at the point where if the opponent's like 0 score masters, I'll probably like lose like 98 and like gain like 105. But if it's masters, it seems to be like I'm gonna lose the entire score. So it's kind of like masters, grandmasters is weighted lower than masters, which is kind of weird. But who knows there? Maybe they just have the flair for Grandmaster and they're actually just masters. Because they're, just like that. We're against, heading up that Japanese flag from this Japanese player. Against Haven. Okay, well this hand would be amazing playing first, I think. Unfortunately, we're not. Well, I mean, besides the Deepwood Anomaly, but... Now that card is just an anomaly, right? Even, there's a couple options here. No turn 1 play. Oh, well, we're gonna do some fairy circles out the wazoo. Can have a lot of fairies this game. Ooh. What I did not want to see is Unicard Dancer Unic. Because that means it is a neutral Haven deck. Neutral Haven, not necessarily the worst matchup. Looking at my hand is a terrible matchup. And then when my opponent decides to play Alice on turn 4 Alice, I'll just be, crying in my room, right? Thinking about Wood of Brambles, it's such like, I don't know, I guess it might be too powerful if like the effect stayed on the follower. But like it kind of feels like, that would be a fair way to deal with it, or a fair way to go, right? You're also like definitely in a very bad position right here. So we gotta, unfortunately their 3/3s Wood of Brambles does not trade very well. I guess it's fine. The other option is Elven Princess Mage and then triple trade into one of these. Seems bad. We'll just go with the Wood of Brambles. re-gift our fairies that effect. If there are 2/2s, we would be in a very spectacular position. If the Wood of Brambles effect stayed, we would be in a spectacular position. Oh, I guess that's a thing. Unfortunately, none of those are the case. We just, I mean, I guess this is fine. Putting it down to a 3-1. We're in a world of hurt at a virtual 6 life points. 6 defense. Not looking too good, but I mean, you know, maybe our opponent ran out of steam, maybe they don't have, you know, obvious tea time Garuda. Goblin Princess. Disgusting. Huh. Yeah, I think we're pretty well dead. No, I don't know what my opponent could really have that's bad. I guess I can, like, you know, do some of these. The reason I don't mind playing this Lost Fairy, if we top deck a Tia, we still have a 0-cost fairy and a fairy circle. You know, that's not too bad. We may not be dead on this turn, probably not, but death is coming soon to a theater near you. We don't really have any good answers. Oh my god, another Goblin Princess. An Eagle Man. Oh man. Oh, Wood of Brambles, you're such a troll. Your effect doesn't last. If the Wood of Brambles effect lasted here, I could, you know, clear the opponent's entire board. Unfortunately, the play is probably just to gain a bunch of, you know, gain 3 life. And then, kill the Eagle Man. I don't know if I like killing the goblins here. It's kind of interesting. I think I like killing one of them. It could be a mistake though. I think it's kind of a mistake. Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. I don't think it's gonna, you know, it's not like we're gonna win anyways. The thing here is he could just go Goblin King, trade into the air, trade into both of my fairies. Or he could just play Lion of the Golden City, do the exact same thing, except it's Bad News Bears. Bad News Bears. Bad News Lions. I guess Will of the Forest is a card I considered in the deck, but it's kind of a weird one. You know, a little punish there, but I think we'll just go ahead and concede. We had a little bit of fun with this. We won a game somehow against some random shadow deck. Forest has, you know, a decent amount of healing. I see some with, you know, Aaron, Fairy Beast, Elf Queen, losing those points. But we had a fun time, and that's all that matters. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I will see you guys next time.